Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Like Mr. Kareem said, my name is Jason Alston. I'm an assistant state's attorney at the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office. In I guess in a real world sense, what do I do? I'm a criminal prosecutor, and so we prosecute a wide range of crimes that occur within our jurisdiction in Prince George's County. Specifically, I work in the narcotics intelligence unit, where we prosecute misdemeanor and felony handgun offenses and high volume narcotics cases. On the topic of violence and its impact, I think we are all very aware and well aware of how violence affects our communities. We see news headlines almost daily about violence, but specifically to point out the violence that occurs amongst our youth populations. Just recently in Prince George's County, there was a headline about a young person who ran onto a school bus, and attempted to shoot somebody, and then later went into a neighboring jurisdiction in D.C. And shot and killed somebody. So violence is very prevalent amongst young populations. But to that end, the state's attorney's office, and let me first say I bring you greetings from our state's attorney, Aisha Braveboy, who could not be with us this morning. But our office is very serious about criminal activity, and finding justice for those involved. We have several programs at our office that target youth and teen populations to make sure that they experience justice in the criminal justice system. One of them is Teen Court, which is an alternative justice system that gives teenage offenders the chance to learn from their mistakes without acquiring a criminal record. The target population is teens from ages 10 to 17 who have committed nonviolent misdemeanors. They have to admit their guilt, but they appear for sentencing before a jury of their teenage peers. And so not only do they get to experience the criminal justice system, but other teens get to experience the criminal justice system and be active participants in it and hold their counterparts accountable. Another program that we have is the Back on Track program that really focuses on older populations, those people who are 18 and older. But it's a diversion program that tracks people for 12 to 18 months, gives them job and education services, and equips them as best as possible to be functioning and contributing members of society, with the goal of expunging their criminal record at the end of the program. Another program that we have is our Emerging Adults program, which is targeted for those people 18 to 26, with the realization that some offenses are quite serious and come with serious consequences. But because even at the end of those extensive possible periods of incarceration, that we want people to return to our communities and be able to contribute positively and impactfully to those communities. So we look to equip them as best as possible to return to the community through partners in the county and outside the county, Employ Prince George's, a Builders Trade Unit, the Painters Union, all these other organizations that are our partners in making sure that our residents in Prince George's County, even those who have come in contact with the criminal justice system and have been adjudicated either as a juvenile or as an adult, can re-enter society and function completely and impactfully. I'm open to any questions you all may have. If there's something specific that you want me to address, please let me know. But I'm happy to be with you all.
Well, we appreciate you, State's Attorney Alston. Let me ask you, you're prosecuting these, serious problems that are in our neighborhood. What ideas do you have? I mean, the young people are going to be spending their weekend coming up with ways, games that might, discourage people from, getting involved with violence in particular.
I'm actually excited to see what they come up with, because that's one way I have not thought about it. I do know that technology is extremely helpful in terms of identifying areas or people involved in criminal activity. I know, in and some adults use like the neighborhood app and things like that, where people are kind of crowdsourcing information about what's going on in specific neighborhoods. Something like that amongst our younger people in schools, I'm sure could certainly be helpful. But I'm actually looking
because you mentioned online. There's a lot of violence that is being perpetrated online, right?
Absolutely.
Some people are targeting people who they want to actually, attack by profiling them online and then getting them to meet up with them in person and then, committing violence that way.
Absolutely.
Some people are sending, live streaming actions where they're beating up people or shooting or stabbing people. I mean, what is your office doing to try to, engage the community or even young people to try to prevent that type of thing from happening?
And so with regard to I don't know if you're all familiar with some of these TikTok challenges that seem fun online, but some of them are quite serious in their actual effect. And so we are very mindful of that. We monitor those trends online through our police partners, through the Prince George's County Police Department and other localities. We have not in the sense that you're asking, I don't think that we've tapped into youth populations, but we do have various programs and trainings in schools. They come into the courthouse. We do simulations of what a normal traffic stop might be like. I guess it would probably be important to incorporate something that is more real time and realistic in like a school setting. But very often high schools come into the courthouse where we do simulations and trainings. Again, teen court. Those populations are able to participate on what would be a jury if they were adults, and so they get to see the criminal justice process from arrest through indictment, preliminary and subsequent hearings, trial, and sentencing. They get to be active participants and in a real sense pass down quote unquote judgment on their peers. There are actual judges who preside over those hearings, but to the extent possible, those young people are able to participate. And so the use of technology to identify, track, monitor, report would be extremely helpful, especially because so much of that activity happens online. Cyberbullying and other things happen online. And, it would be extremely helpful to tap into that.